Hello there. Welcome to Wake Up to the Bible. I'm Daniel Kaplan, and I'm here with my father, Dr. Mark Kaplan, and together we're reading through the books of the law, Genesis through Deuteronomy, over the course of this year. We're doing a little bit every day. Today we're reading Genesis 36:20 through 43, and I will be reading from the Robert Alter translation. These are the sons of Seir the Horite who had settled in the land: Lotan and Shobal and Zibin and Anah and Dishon and Ezer and Dishon. And these are the Horite chieftains, son of Seir in the land of Edom. And the sons of Lotan were Hori and Hemon, and Lotan's sister was Timnah. And these were the sons of Shobal, Alvan and Manahoth and Ebal and Shepo and Onam. And these are the sons of Zibeon, Aya and Anah. He is Anah who found the water in the wilderness when he took the asses of his father Zibeon to graze. And these are the children of Anah, Dishon and Oholibamah, daughter of Anah. And these are the sons of Dishon, Hemdan and Eshban and Ithran and Chiron. These are the sons of Ezer, Bilhan and Zavan and Akan. These are the sons of Dishon, Uz and Aran. These are the Horite chieftains: the chieftain Lotan, the chieftain Shobal, the chieftain Zibeon, the chieftain Anah, the chieftain Dishon, the chieftain Ezer, the chieftain Dishon. These are the Horite chieftains by the clans in the land of Seir. These are the kings that reigned in the land of Edom before any king reigned over the Israelites. And Bela, the son of Beor, reigned in Edom, and the name of his city was Dinhabah. And Bela died, and Jobab, son of Zerah from Bozrah, reigned in his stead. And Jobab died, and Husham from the land of the Temanite reigned in his stead. And Husham died, and Hadad son of Bedad reigned in his stead. And he who struck down Midian on the steppe of Moab, and the name of his city was Avith. And Hadad died, and Samlah of Masrekah reigned in his stead. And Samlah died, and Saul from Rehobothim the river reigned in his stead. And Saul died, and Baalhan son of Achbor reigned in his stead. And Baalhanan son of Achbor died, and Hadad reigned in his stead. And the name of his city was Pa, and the name of his wife was Mehetebel, daughter of Matred, daughter of Mehsabad. These are the names of the chieftains of Esau by their clans and places, name by name: the chieftain of Timnah, the chieftain Alva, the chieftain Jetheth, the chieftain of Olibamah, Olibamah, the chieftain Elad, the chieftain Pinon, the chieftain Kenaz, the chieftain Teman, the chieftain Mibzbar, the chieftain Magdiel, the chieftain Aram. These are the chieftains of Edom by their settlements in the land of their holdings, that is Esau, father of Edom. And you could make a lot of great clips of that, of me trying to get through all those names. Feel free to do so.
In my youth, this one teacher, Yeshiva U, he justified Kabbalah, he justified mysticism by saying, why would you have Genesis 36 in there unless there's some mystical meaning you're supposed to get out of it? But no, I mean, God is also concerned with Gentiles, and
right.
He even mentions somebody who found water.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so he shows a concern for Gentiles here, and he also, you know, is showing you the ethnic background of the Middle East. This is important in the history of the region, and it's important even prophetically. You know, Edom comes up in prophecy, and so on, and you know, although it may not be the most thrilling part to read, but it's quite relevant, really.
Mm-hmm.
And I did want to mention.
It certainly does establish some things, for sure.
I did want to mention in verse 33.
Mm-hmm.
And when Bela died, Jobab, the son of Zerah of Basra, reigned in his place. The area of Edom is also called in the English way we would pronounce it is Uz, U-Z, and so we have Job, who lived in the land of Uz. You know, the original Wizard of Oz, I guess you could say. Anyway, but
no,
no, okay, but Job was evidently an Edomite king, and this is one reason why we have in the wisdom literature, the way the Hebrew Bible is organized, we have Psalms, Proverbs, and then Job. Even though Job lived between the time of Joseph and the time of Moses, a patriarch. He lived in the patriarchal age, but his book comes third, probably because preference is given to the royal line of Judah, the kingly line of Israel, David and Solomon. Then we have Job. Job was evidently Jobab. The Septuagint identifies him as such, if you have a Septuagint. But here we have, and when Bela died, Jobab, the son of Zerah of Basra, reigned in his place. Now, if you, with your permission, I'm going to go to Job,
Dun, dun, dun.
the 25th chapter,
Okay.
And verse 29,
Mm-hmm.
and there you're going to see Job makes this remark. Well, first I'll have to get there. My phone is not right now cooperating. There we go.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, it's the other way around, 29, 25. All right, in Job 29 and verse 25, he says, I chose the way for them and sat as chief. So I dwelt as a king in the army, as one who comforts mourners. So this may refer to the status that he had as a chieftain or king among the Edomites. So I just wanted to mention that.
Um, the what you call it, verse 24. You have your translation says what?
What,
He
36?
is a na who what?
36, Job, I'm sorry,
Not
my
Job.
my Bible wants to go back to Job. Okay, Genesis 36:24.
Yeah, I was just curious.
This was the Anna who found the water in the wilderness
Okay.
as he pastured the donkeys.
Yeah, apparently there's some translations that do other things, and Robert Alter was just saying because the word there, yamim, is an anomalous term, like what they found. And the reason where you get to water is they think it's an inversion of mayim. That it's just a.
Oh, so it may be something else.
It could be something else.
Eh,
We don't really know what it is. It's yamim, whatever that is, but it's the only time that it shows up, apparently. And so most people do get it to water.
It may just be some literary device, in other words,
Of inversion.
yeah.
It could be, or it could be that actually, we've lost a little bit of what was being preserved there just because of the language. Like we don't, that there might be some historical thing that is there that unfortunately we just don't know what it means
Let me
anymore.
just, if we have a moment,
Sure, I'll point out something while you're doing that.
all right.
Um, Another thing that's pointed out is that the dynasty, well, it's not a dynasty. You have the kings of Edom, but it's not a dynasty because it's not the sons, right? It seems kind of messier. You have this person coming in from here and then this person coming in like that. And so what you have is the concept of kings in the area, but you don't have something quite like a monarchy, which is just interesting from a historical perspective. That the political system was much more volatile than that. It would appear based on the way that unfolds because you have this king and then it says, well, this king kind of did this and then they became king and then this one came king, and things like that. So just gives you a little bit of background of the situation. But of course, eventually, much later, Israel is going to want a king because that's what everybody else has. So you have kings getting set up here. We've had kings before, but this is a whole line of kings.
It may be that the reason it is written this way, Yud Mem Mem instead of Mem Yud Mem, the word for seas, Seas in Hebrew would be Yamim Yud Mem Yud Mem. Maybe he found streams of water,
Hmm. It was
and,
impressive, sort of.
maybe it's written that way that this is otherwise white, big deal. He found water, but maybe he just found a tremendous supply of water.
Well, in the wilderness, it could be enough to make it. It
Yeah,
could
but
be
I'm saying I think it may be that he really found an abundance
something
of
impressive. Yeah,
something impressive, and that's why
yeah.
it's written here.
Hmm.
Um, okay, there was something else that you said.
That the kings were not
Oh
like a
yeah,
tip.
Kings. I wanted to go back to that.
Hmm.
Um, Again, this may be. I hope it's not controversial, but
Will
uh,
be
well,
controversial.
there were scribes that had authority to make edits in the text.
That's pretty controversial.
At some point, it was frozen, but for periods of time, there were scribes that had the authority to make edits. And here we have down around verse 30 or so. Um, uh, uh, Verse 31. Now these were the kings who reigned in the land of Edom before any king reigned over the children of Israel. Well, that's I mean, Moses, would Moses have written that prophetically? You know, so it would seem to me that this is something that's put in here by scribes later on, when Israel did become a monarchy.
Hmm.
But that would be my feeling on it.
Yeah, no, that's very interesting. And Robert Alter agrees with that.
Aha! Wow, he and I would have a good conversation sometime.
He says the phrase refers to the establishment of the monarchy beginning with Saul and not as some has proposed to the imposition of Israelites over Edom by David. Because,
I would not.
nope, he doesn't agree with that.
No, I agree with Robert Alter.
Yeah.
Once again.
This is one of the brief moments when the later perspective in time of the writer pushes to the surface in the patriarchal narrative.
All right.
So yeah, no, that is a good point. Now, I guess you could argue.
Well, he goes beyond. See that there's where Alter and I differ. I do believe these are the 5 books of Moses, but I believe that
Well, no, but you would believe that there had to be a scribe that
there
put
were
it
later
in.
on edits. I do believe.
Well, that's the
I
same.
personally believe that Samuel added a certain section of Deuteronomy 17,
Mm.
and in fact, Aaron.
I mean, somebody had to write after he died.
Yeah, that's right. Some Jews believe that he actually wrote his own obit there, but it would be more than likely somebody else wrote that,
Yeah,
right?
right.
What did I want to do?
I mean, the actual where does it? Well, I don't know. This might be a little bit too complicated for this podcast, but
Oh, I know. I wanted to go to Psalm 99.
specifically the authorship of Moses. Where is it specifically given?
Well, it's there at Deuteronomy. We'll get there.
Okay.
But in Psalm 99, um, um, Moses and Aaron were among his priests, and Samuel was among those who called upon his name. See, he's put up right up there with Moses and Aaron. And in Acts 3:24, he's called a prophet. Samuel's called a prophet.
Mm-hmm.
So he's really a major figure. And I would think that he probably, when he warned Israel about having a king, that he put that section into Deuteronomy that we have there in the
You could have put
17th
this
chapter.
in too.
What?
And you might have put this in too.
Yeah, or somebody. Yeah, he or somebody. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's possible.
Yeah.
Somebody either did, or you have to wonder that Moses wrote. Well, no. But here's the problem, right? Let's imagine Moses did write this because he had prophetic insight, which is certainly possible. But here's the problem: if you have in your text, this is the kings that reigned before any king reigned over the Israelites, and you get to Samuel, and they're like, "Well, we want a king like everybody else." Wouldn't they be like, well, we want a king like it's been prophesied
I know.
in our text? So it doesn't appear that that text was
No,
there.
no, it would probably not.
You know what I mean? Otherwise, wouldn't they appeal to
Probably,
the Bible?
probably not. I mean, the Bible should be respected, but we shouldn't be superstitious about it.
Mm-hmm.
As I
Right.
said, there were scribes who had. I told you earlier, Genesis 14, we have an update on the
Mm-hmm.
location of a place. It's called Dan, but it very likely was not called Dan then,
Right.
because it probably was called Dan later when the tribe of Dan settled there.
Right. But on the other hand, while we shouldn't be superstitious about it, we can certainly believe,
Right? Yeah.
that all Scripture is
Right.
profitable
Of
for
course.
everything,
Yeah.
and that all of these decisions were inspired, but also that it
Right.
means you have to respect the authority, and that's really where the controversy lies, right? Because what people want to do is they'll want to do a lot of critical thinking, and then they'll be like, well, should this really be there because it doesn't make any sense, and they start unraveling it, and yeah, you can go down that rabbit hole, but then you lose a canon. And so for stability's sake, I certainly don't recommend it, but I also don't think it's correct,
Right.
because I do in fact believe that if, let's say, Samuel did this, that he was inspired to do so.
And I wouldn't discount that those who wrote this text perhaps had certain numerical values in mind and that sort of thing. I mean, I haven't analyzed these
Mm-hmm.
names from a gematria point of view,
Oh, you mean in this chapter?
Yeah,
Oh, that there might be some other layer
yeah,
of something
there may be
going on.
right. There may be other patterns going on here, and also
Yeah,
the meanings of the names
right.
and that sort of thing. But
Hmm.
that's
It's just one of those things that you can just do a straightforward read and you get
right,
everything
right,
you need to get at. That other
right,
stuff might be literary devices that might be
right,
kind of interesting or
right,
things like that,
right,
but
right,
it's not going to give you any doctrinal
right,
insight.
right, right, right.
It's not gonna change your right your righteous walk.
Well,
It's just some interesting information.
some biblical history is there, I think, just to guide
Hmm.
historical research for those
Sure.
who have want to respect the text.
Yeah.
They can then use it to help to guide them. For example, there's I think he was an Adventist scholar named Teeley who wrote a book, The Strange Numbers of the Hebrew Kings, something like that,
Hmm.
something
Hmm.
along those lines. And he really studied very diligently, and so he's able to put together a chronology of the kings of Israel and Judah and make sense of that.
Hmm.
And then there's also a man named David Roll who wrote a book about the chronology of ancient Egypt, and he, using the Bible as a guide, he has reinterpreted Egyptian chronology, and he has a sort of unconventional approach, but it does help to more effectively coordinate Egyptian history and biblical history if it's correct.
Right. Which obviously that can end up in circular reasoning that can be sometimes wrong or confirmation bias. But on the other hand,
Right,
it could be like some of this stuff could help you anchor things as well.
right.
So it
And
works both ways.
and David Roll isn't the only one to do that.
Sure.
Years before, Emmanuel Velikovsky
Right.
did something similar many decades ago.
Right. Yeah, it's very interesting. And there's something to be said for just the sake of all this extra stuff giving it a sense of weight, right? This is not, like my
Right.
dad said, this is maybe not the most compelling read, but that kind of tells you something too. It tells you that this isn't just kind of a story. This isn't just we're going to sit back by the campfire and tell a great narrative. There's other things going on in this text, and obviously eventually we're going to get into laws and other things, but it's always getting woven
And what are you going to name your baby? Here you have ideas.
in. Right.
For example, I saw a
Well, it's
car.
like the old thing where they used to like supposedly like turn to a random page of the Bible and point to something, and it's like, wow, could
I,
have ended up with some interesting choices if it
I
would have done
saw
that.
an animated movie around 1972
Uh huh.
where there was a cat named Ahithophel. So somebody was aware of Genesis 36.
There you go. Especially for pet names. There you go. Pet names can be challenging. You can have a you can have a whole Edomite cat army in your house. I love it. Uh,
Well,
good
some of these
times.
names do come up in the Middle East. I
Hmm.
see there's an Omar here,
Hmm.
for example. That name comes
Yeah.
up.
Yeah. And they come up in the Bible too.
Right.
Some of these are
Oh,
just
yeah.
names that
Right.
just
The
reappear.
Israelites use some of these same names.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, anyway, we will see you tomorrow, and we will be getting into the classic story of Joseph, which is really fun. And I promise I'll try not to sing too much of Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat as we go through it, but I can only guarantee so much because I do like musicals. But we will see you there. In the meantime, please like, subscribe, hit the bell, and we will see you tomorrow. And I keep doing that. There we go.